Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you 10 reasons to not get off your cruise ship.
Yeah, we do take a lot of cruises, and there do tend to be a lot of days that we end up not getting off the cruise ship when it's not at the sea day, when it's in a port. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and we're going to go over those today, why maybe you should consider not getting off at every single port. The first one is that there is still a ton of stuff going on the ship.
Absolutely. They have a ton of classes. They still have like trivia and bingo and lots of talks too that they still have on the ship. So don't miss out on some of those things. If you didn't get to them while you're at sea, this is a great time to take the opportunity. Plus, there's not as many people participating, so it's also a good chance to win.
Next one is that you can take a lot of photos and videos without many people on the ship. And we get asked a lot when we are doing our ship tours, how did you see this with nobody in it? Like, how did you get that? Were you on a special day? No, we just did it usually on the first port day. Just took an hour and walked around and got all our photos, got all our videos, and it's easy. Then if we're going to get off, we get off after that. But that very first port day, everybody gets off right away. Ship is empty. You can take a photo or a video of anything you want to see.
Exactly. And you know, the other great thing too is like, you know, the pictures, the photos that they take on the ship are really expensive from the photographers on the ship. They're pretty pricey. And if you want to try to take some pictures yourself, you can bring a little, you know, quick pop-up tripod with you and, you know, set a timer and stuff and take pictures all over the ship without having to, you know, be in the way or be a nuisance to other people that are on the ship. It's the perfect time to take all of the pictures that you want on the ship when there's very few people on it.
Now, when the ship is in port, it's not going to be so busy, so it's going to be easier to do some of those hard things that there's always a long line for. Maybe your internet's not working, you got to go to the internet desk, or you got to go to the laundry and get some laundry done. But those are things you can really take care of when everyone else is off the ship.
Exactly, especially when you're doing like a transatlantic. We do laundry a lot when we're on transatlantics, and sometimes you go down to do the laundry on like sea days and everybody is in there and you have to wait for forever to get a machine. Perfect day to do that is a port day because nobody wants to do their laundry on port day.
Next one is going to be that you do save a ton of money by not doing an excursion. And that's one thing that we look at when we talk about the price of a cruise. We usually pay for it kind of up front, and you've put your $1,500, $2,000 down. By the time you get on the cruise, you think, oh, well, it's already paid for. I'll just pay another $400 for this excursion. But you really end up spending a lot more than you thought or wanted to spend when you take some of these shore excursions.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you don't really think about the fact that there will be even extra cost on top of the fee for the excursion. You know, you'll want to buy things and you'll want to try things, and a lot of times food's not included or drinks or whatever. So you're paying a lot of extra money on top of an already expensive excursion.
Next thing is to check if there are a lot of ships in the port the day that you're getting in there. If there's we've seen as many as 5 or 6 ships in a port some days, and the town is just a mob scene, you're not going to be able to do anything without a huge crowd. On those days, we normally just stay on the ship, especially if it's one that we've already been to.
Yeah, and there's actually several places where you can check online for cruise timetables at different ports. So make sure you know, go head over to your good friend Google and check it out for what port you're going to be at and at you know, what day, and it will tell you how many ships are expected into port that day. It's very important to know that.
Another reason to stay on the ship is if there is a tender. It can be difficult for people, especially if you have some mobility issues and you have trouble maneuvering. It's going to take a lot longer to get there and to get back. So it could be a reason just to stay put on the ship.
Yeah, this is a day where usually there's a lot of lines too, because the tenders aren't gigantic, obviously, and you're trying to take all the people from this big ship and put them on this little boat and move them back and forth, back and forth. They do have several of them, but it really does take a long time, not just to get off the ship and onto land, but then you had to stand in line on the other side to get on the tender and to come back. And then also For me, I get motion sickness on the tenders, even though I don't mostly on the ship. I do get motion sick on the tenders because, you know, it's so wavy and choppy with everybody, you know, with the other tenders coming back and forth. So that's another notch for me staying on the ship instead of heading into port.
And then there are some great port day offers. So if the ship's in port, they're going to give you a discount on the spa, different services, because they know there aren't that many people on the ship and they're not going to get much business. So you can get some pretty good deals on those days.
Exactly. And since there's not going to be a lot of people on the ship, it won't be that hard to get an appointment, to get a massage or to, you know, get your nails done or your hair or whatever. It's the perfect day to do it.
And another reason is if you've visited that port many times or if the weather is not very good that day, we definitely stay on the ship. One that we always stay on the ship now, I think, is Nassau. We've been there like 10, 12 times, and it just, we've done everything we want to do there. So we always take that day just to stay on the ship and kind of enjoy the ship.
Yeah, and I think the last time that we were there were a lot of other people that were like us because there were actually a little bit more people on the ship than there normally is. I think there were a lot of seasoned cruisers that time around on the ship. And you know, the main thing here to keep in mind is that, you know, the cruise is the vacation. So don't feel like you have to get off just because the ship is stopping. The ship has lots of things to offer. It's great to sit and relax. We enjoy, like when we get a balcony room, we enjoy just sitting on the balcony and reading, and you know, you can kind of hear what's going on. Or if they're doing a cleaning or something and you can't sit out on the balcony, not a problem. There's tons of other places to go and sit and relax and just read or just do some of the fun things that the ship has to offer.
Yeah, a lot of days we prefer being on the ship. So the cruise, we love being on a cruise ship, and it's a great place to be. So why not spend as much time as possible as you can?
Exactly. And we use it, you know, as people who travel full time, we use cruises a lot as transportation, but it's not just that. It's not just, you know, from point A to point B and C and D. It's, you know, someplace that's built for fun. Depending on the ship that you get, there's tons of stuff to do and a ton of free stuff to do. So definitely the best time to take advantage of those things without having to wait in line and not crowds of people is to enjoy those things when you're in port.
So let us know if there's any that we missed. What are some of the reasons that you stay on the ship? Did you agree with what we had to say or got other ones that you want to add on? Please do so in the comments.
All right, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give us a like on this video, and we'll see you next time.